Hey guys, Hitman here for MakoEvents.com. You're watching Mako TV. Alright, as promised, I'm going to show you how to put together the version 2 gearbox. Okay, first, let's talk about what you're going to need for the reassembly. For your gearbox to function well, it needs to be well greased. So grab yourself some lithium grease. You can find this at pretty much any hardware store or obviously Airsoft website. What I use in my gearbox is marine waterproof goop, I believe it's called. That works just fine. It hasn't let me down yet. You're going to need a screwdriver or a punch to hold your spring when you're putting your spring back in your gearbox. You're going to need the same Allen wrench that you use to take apart the gearbox and the gun. I find that Q-tips help, especially when you are greasing your bearings and your slide for your piston. Grease rags are always good to have in this kind of deal. And obviously all the parts that makes the gearbox go boom. You're going to want those so you can put it back in. Now getting started, going to grease up our bearings first. Pretty important. I like to pay special attention to them. You got to make sure that everything is rolling nice and neat in there. That's the first place things are going to go wrong, so take care of basics. Now we're going to start putting in our gears. Note, I am shimming one on each side. You don't have to shim too much on well-geared guns. The one on either side should usually do the trick. Any more and you're going to start seeing discrepancies in the shooting. Perform a quick compression check on your piston and your tube. Make sure that it won't just slide down into it, but that you have to actually apply pressure. Before you attach the tappet plate to the brass tubing, you need to attach the nozzle to the tappet plate and put it all together before you put it into the gun. Here we're going to attach our tappet spring. It'll attach to a small hook on your tappet plate and to a small arm coming off of your gearbox body. And here we're shimming our last gear, getting it ready to go in. And just check, see, make sure everything is turning good, which it obviously is. And what I'm doing right now is lining my little nub there on the sector gear up so that it faces 1 o'clock. This is how you time the version 2 gearbox. There are different ways that other people like to do it. I'm not sure if this will work for short pistons, but I do know, everything being stock as it is, that is the correct timing for the version 2 gearbox. I'm putting in the trigger. It gets a little bit tricky because you got to play with the safety while you're getting it in, and then it's even more of a pain trying to get the safety out of the way while you're putting the box back together. And make sure that your trigger is making good contact with your selector plate. Now we're going to take out our last gear and insert the anti-reversal latch. There's a little spring that goes on that. It wraps around the arm and it has a little arm coming off that you will put into a little notch there. I don't know if you can see it right there. And that will allow the gear to go the correct way and not the wrong way. Now we're going to put in our spring. And put the spring guide in. Here's where you need your screwdriver or your punch. You'll note how easy mine goes in. That's because it's old and well worn. For larger springs, new springs, this is very complicated and hard to do, which is why you need your punch and you need to apply a lot of pressure. It's not going to be as easy as you just saw. Now, while you're putting your gearbox back together, you have to push up or in on your safety trigger. Try and line all your pins up. It is kind of difficult sometimes. A lot of the times I find that the anti-reversal latch will get kind of jabberwockied. So take a flathead screwdriver and just kind of nudge it while you just have a little crack in the box, like I'm sure you'll see while you're putting it together, and then it'll eventually just snap together. And then after that, all you have left to do is reinstall your screws and insert your gearbox back into the upper receiver and put your gun back together. And you're ready to go. You have a freshly greased, freshly maintained, likely freshly upgraded gearbox that is ready for a fresh target. So, until next time, this has been Hitman's How To's. Hitman out.